nice cool day. At least it isn't here. Okay, the first thing on the agenda is a public hearing. It's a discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a first reading of an ordinance to amend and restate the Town of Ocean View annual operating budget and capital budget for fiscal year ending 30 April 2026. On tonight's agenda is the first reading, what I just read. The purpose of the ordinance is to amend and restate, finalize the budgets adopted April 8, 2025 for fiscal year ending April 30th, 2026 to reflect the changes to the town's revenue expenditures and capital projects that occurred during the fiscal year. The ordinance was introduced at June 9, 2026 council meeting. The public hearing is for the ordinance amending and restating the Town of Ocean View annual operating budget for fiscal year ending April 30, 2026. The statement of anticipated revenues is amended to reflect actual budgeted revenues received during the fiscal year and revenues received from sources that are not budgeted, such as grants applied for and award to the police department, ARPA, and reimbursable expenses. The statement of anticipated expenses is being amended to reflect actual expenditures that occurred throughout the fiscal year, including those non-budgeted, such as the expenses associated with any grants, operating capital, and reimbursable expenses. Operating budget increased by $360,045, and capital purchases increased by $281,825. Are there any comments from the public in attendance at all? Council?
No.
Dawn has some statements.
Dawn?
Okay. The revenues increased in total by $1,583,090. Of that, $1,165,000 is being transferred to our trust accounts. It was mainly an increase in our transfer taxes, leaving $418,090 available for the increases in the operating and capital expenditures. Operating, of course, which was said, increased by the $360,045, capital by the $281,825. Pages 6 and 7 of the ordinance document actually recaps the increases to the revenue expenditures in more detail. If you have any questions, I can definitely answer and go into more detail.
Council, any questions?
No.
And there were no questions from the public. Okay, make a motion. Does somebody make a motion? You got it?
Is this it? Yeah,
To
I'd like,
adopt it.
yeah. I'd like to make a motion that we support the resolution for the Town of Ocean View to adopt, is it Sussex
No,
County?
that's
Yeah.
not, that's
That's-
wrong. This is for the amendment of the
So is this A?
operating budget.
Oh, this is A.
The
Yes.
public hearing.
We just need a motion for you to adopt the amended operating budget if you're so inclined. We've explained all the changes. This is something we do after we close out the end of the year. the
Council,
fiscal
can I get a
year.
motion on that?
I move to approve the amended operating budget as stated by Ms. Parks.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is 5, discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a second reading of an ordinance authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds series 2026 to provide funds for and towards the completion of capital improvement projects and related expenses. Ms. Howard.
Yeah. I'd like to share just a little bit of background and then some highlights in relationship to our making the recommendation to engage in a financing effort to borrow for infrastructure projects via the issuance of general obligation bonds. The effort stems from our financial conditions assessment completed in February of 2025, more specifically to borrow for large capital improvement projects with long useful life. As such, projects were identified at the value of $7.2 million, and they have been identified in detail in our meetings, documents shared, the operating budget, leading all of that leading up till today. This value was then used to identify our estimated debt service for the repayment of the financing, which resulted in our determining a funding source to pay down the debt. The funding sources identified are the same trust funds that typically fund our infrastructure projects, trust funds that are supported by transfer tax revenue. Staff was able to evaluate 20 years of data related to these trusts to determine they could meet the need of the debt service payments, as well as allow for shorter-term projects to continue to be funded. And most importantly, would not rely on property tax revenues from the general fund. The ordinance associated with this financing effort was introduced on April 14th, 2026 of this year. First reading and public hearing, as well as a detailed presentation, were delivered on June 9th, all advertised and available to the public, including showing on our Ocean View TV, our government access channel, and continued availability on our YouTube channel. We have also provided information related to why we should borrow now, including the ability to knock out projects that have been on the books before they worsen, with current staff that are well-versed at completing large projects and benefiting from the town's strong financial condition. We currently have a AA+ bond rating, which allows us to borrow at lower rates. We're here today for the second reading and public hearing of the ordinance. Representatives from a representative from our financial advisor, PFM, is here in case you have any other questions. The ordinance was part of your packet. I also provided you copies of the PowerPoint presentation, and there's some here in the back as well. The PFM February 24-26 borrowing report. So at this time, we'd be happy to move to the open portion of the public hearing.
Is there anybody in the public in attendance who would like to comment on this? Council, any questions on this? No. Council, I need a motion that the town of Ocean View move forward with the infrastructure financing ordinance as set forth in the town manager's reports.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that the town of Ocean View move forward with the infrastructure financing ordinance as set forth in the town manager's ordinance intro memo of May 6th, her process update memo of June 2nd, the PowerPoint presentation delivered June 9th on the topic, and her overview of the borrowing for infrastructure provided today for second reading and public hearing, and also including the continuation of our relationship with PFM as our financial advisors, the selection of Stifel Public Finance as the financing underwriter, and the intent to use Wilmington Trust as the paying agent.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Okay, next is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion, we adopt the agenda from June 9th, 2026.
Do I have a second on that?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular minutes of the June 9th meeting 2026.
Mr. Mayor, motion to approve the regular minutes from June 9th, 2026.
Thank you. Can I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, communications and presentations. I believe Councilperson Schwartz, if you see that.
Yes. At our March council meeting, we had a request from Senator Hunter's office to reach out to DelDOT about a sign in town. Helen Mann, Miss Delaware 2025, was inquiring about a sign since she was also Miss Ocean View. We tabled it at that time, and 3 girls were found to have been Miss Ocean View and Miss Delaware in the Miss America pageant series. We have Miss Delaware, 1975, Elaine Campanelli was Miss Ocean View and won the title of Miss Delaware. Miss Delaware 2023 was Emily Beal, and she held the title of Miss Ocean View when she became Miss Delaware. Miss Delaware 2025, Kelly Mack, was also Miss Ocean View and won the title of Miss Delaware. During their reign, they competed in the Miss America pageant. I'm in favor of reaching out to DelDOT for permission to place a sign in our town, and I would like to know how the rest of the council feels, and we could vote on it at the next meeting.
I'll start. I absolutely love the idea. I think all three names should be on it, and I fully support it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. They should all be recognized, yes, for that.
Thank you.
I'm good as well with the other two comments.
Okay, thank you.
You can actually give me direction tonight. We don't need, I don't need a vote because of the cost is approximately $300.
So, that's a $300 expense. How's the council feel about that?
I'm good with it.
I'm good.
So I'll be making contact to DelDOT about location and making contact in regards to the sign. And you all have a sample in front of you of the anticipated. Okay?
Thank you, Sal. Okay, continuing on with reports. First up, financial report, Ms. Parks.
Thank you. Before you have the monthly financial update as of June 30th, 2026. Property taxes bills were postmarked by June 5th, and the taxpayers have till July 31st to take advantage of the 1% discount, and until August 31st to pay their current year's taxes without penalty. To date, when I was doing this report, 708 property owners had taken advantage of the early payment discount. Of course, the biggest part of our payments come in through the escrow payments, which will be at the end of the month. Our trust, the Emergency Reserve Trust, has a balance of $1,281,861. The Capital Replacement Trust has a balance of $1,824,334. The Street Repair and Replacement Trust has a balance of $1,962,602. And the newly funded Tax Rate Stabilization Trust has a balance of $1,530,022. Our Emergency Services Enhancement Funding Program, as of the end of June 2026, it consists of 9 new home construction permits. We budgeted 70 for the year. It also includes a 0.5% of construction value of the permits. And there's a balance of $1,329,772. For transfer taxes collected through 5/31 of 26, 36.8 was from new construction, which is 4 new homes. We have not had any land transfers as of yet this year, and 63.2 is from resales of existing homes, which is 12 homes. To meet our FY27 goal of $1,250,000, we would need to collect a little over $104,000 monthly, which we just did get June's totals, and we're at about $170,000 for June. The financial statements recap is on page 3 and 4, followed by the analytics on 5 and 6. Our annual audit is scheduled for next week. The auditors will be here starting on Monday. So they are working this week remotely, and we've been working with them so that shortens their time on site. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Well, I know the same auditors we've used in the past, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a multi-year contract with them, so.
Council, any questions?
Is the number of homes, you said it was 70, and we only did...
Permits. Number
Permits.
of permits.
Right,
That's just 9 new home permits.
okay.
So they're going to be coming. I mean, we're still going pretty strong at Silverwoods, and now Shore Vista's picking up and bringing in.
Once that kicks in.
Oh, yeah, we went over our budgeted number for FY26. So I have no concern. I don't think you have concern about us are hitting that number this year.
No, Silverwood should complete
Yeah,
this fiscal year,
yeah.
and Shore Vista should get moving.
Yeah, it's just the number stood out, that's why I
Yeah.
just wanted to say.
One of the important things is that our property values are remaining high and the strong resale, the 63%, hitting our target for our transfer taxes.
And we're seeing a lot of interest in some of the fill-in lots we have, the vacant lots. I have constituents coming to the office who want to sit down and talk, and or prospective constituents want to come in and talk, and what lots are we aware of that are vacant in town, and they're looking to build new homes
Yeah.
here in Ocean.
Yeah, just like seeded around.
Yep, in existing communities.
And just to drive the point home, these funds, we have targets for them, but as you know, the transfer taxes fund our trust. They don't fund the general fund. We don't depend on them for operations, but like Dawn, the first numbers she was reading, the 1 this, 1.9, 1.8, that's trust, transfer tax money that is filling what we need to finance all the different programs and repairs, street repairs and emergencies and things, but we don't rely on those funds for operations, but they're important. They're very important to the community.
Anybody else? Okay, thanks, Tom. Chief McLaughlin, you're up.
Yes, sir, good afternoon. Just a couple quick highlights for the police department. Last month, we were very busy. So far, July, we've been busy. Noticeable increase in the number of people in town. I think this past 4th of July weekend was probably our busiest on record, just as far as the sheer volume of folks and issues that we were dealing with, both in Ocean View and the surrounding areas. The volunteer unit performed 54 hours of service in June of 2025. I want to give a big shout out, especially to Ed Dinelli. In addition to our volunteer unit, we have a CERT component as well, and they've been just invaluable this summer, helping out, not just with stuff at the police department, but also with events here at John West Park. So big shout out to them for all the assistance. I think you've got copies of the letters we received from the Chamber of Commerce and the Artisans Fair, thanking us for assisting. The Artisans Fair also made a small donation to the police department and the CERT team. Myself and Ms. Houck attended the Board of Education meeting back on June 22nd. It was our preliminary meeting with them to discuss the funding or partial funding of our school resource officer position. I think it went well. We got a follow-up meeting this month, and we'll see how that goes. But we did ask for $80,000 to help offset costs for our school resource officer. We also, the police department sponsored again active shooter training at Lord Baltimore Elementary School, June 22nd through the 25th. We had folks from all up and down the state came participating in that. We've got a rundown of all of the costs for service for the month. And also, I want to give notice that the police department has received the top award again this year from Lexipol for policies and training. It's the Elite Award. Prior to that, in past years it was the Gold Award. They changed it to the Elite Award. But I'll be placing the plaque back here in the back of the room if anybody wants to take a look at it. So we're happy. Yeah, this is affirmation that we're continuing to make sure we're doing the right thing when it comes to policies and procedures and training in the police department. So we're always staying on top of that. And I'll be happy to answer any questions the council has.
Congratulations, Chief. Any questions? Okay,
No.
thanks a lot, Chief. Moving on, planning, zoning, and development, Mr. Simmerman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief. maintenance and operations, our contractors finished concrete sidewalk and gutter repairs in the Avon Park community. They were necessary due to the resurfacing project, FY27 resurfacing project that will be completed sometime prior to April 30th of next year. You may have noticed across the street here we installed porous pavers and where the little green the grass strip was between the road and the sidewalk. The roads are kind of narrow and trash trucks were just tearing the sidewalk and rutting the grass up, so we thought we would try this out. So far so good. Also we replaced some sidewalk along Oakwood again from the trash trucks turning from west to Oakwood, unable to navigate the turn and heavy trucks breaking the concrete up. Nothing has changed out at Shore Vista and Silverwoods. This week for planning and zoning, we have application P258 and P260 revised. This is a review of a revision to a site plan for the Ocean View Beach Club, previously approved under applications P258 and P260, as submitted by the applicant Davis Bowen and Friedel Incorporated, on behalf of the property owner Wyndham C. LLC, also known as Convergence Investments. The plan proposes to subdivide 0.090 acres plus or minus from condominium parcel A, which is the amenity center parcel, resulting in the creation of condominium parcels A1 and A2. The plan also proposes the removal of cottages 1, 2, and 3 as depicted on the record plan. Plot book 238, page 21, recorded November 4th, 2016. Condominium parcel A is located on Beach Club Avenue, PIDN 408-351, county tax map number 134-17.00-977.00. Basically, this plan proposes to eliminate the 3 cottages that were shown on the record plan, to carve out that space and create 2 condominium parcels. It's my understanding that these parcels will be sold to the community for $1. This is a win-win for the community and should be a rather brief public hearing on Thursday at Planning and Zoning Commission. Capital projects, the Oakwood parking lot, OVPZ&D 2606. That completed on July the 2nd, 2026. The total cost of the project was $199,273,000, and it was completed $23,727 under budget. Bids for OVPZ&D 2607. This is the Burzins Nature Park and Trail. They were received by the town manager on Tuesday, June the 9th, 2026 at 11 a.m. A recommendation to approve this contract will be before Mayor and Council in a few minutes. Code enforcement, 8 violations for failure to obtain business license, permits, and other such things. Also not listed on here is we have a part-time code enforcement official, Michael Darcy. He mainly works on Saturdays and Sundays. He's been keeping our builders and developers in check for early starts. I've been coming in on Sundays twice a month. We did have the occasion in June to observe subcontractors for Beezer Homes working in the Silverwoods development on a Sunday. Subsequently, I issued them a violation notice and a $500 fine, which has since been paid. There's your COs, permits, business license and rental license. Anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Council, any questions you can?
No, I'd just like to comment, Mr. Mayor. I live in Avon Park, and Ken did a great job along with the Dell construction. Had a little bit of adversity in the beginning. Ken took care of it. Community's done. It's ready for next year, so I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Ken. Public Works.
Go on, where was it?
No, I'm sorry. I missed you.
Sorry, she can't steal any of my
Town
thunder.
manager, town manager. Oh, the one person I shouldn't miss.
No, I'm gonna skip around because we already talked about the borrowing ordinance, and again, we appreciate your support, and we're excited about being able to get the projects done. Charter change update, our charter change that we submitted for this legislative session was approved. Just to share that, charter change submission aligns the timing for council member candidates to file for office so that it matches the mayoral, so that there's no difference, because we did this past election notice that there were, it was holding us back from being able to advertise things, and it just really had no real sense to it. So that was approved. Dawn and I participated in a meeting with DEMA recently regarding the town's submission for reimbursement for the state of emergency the blizzard this past year. We expect to be approved for some of the findings. You may recall that this was a very costly storm, approximately $100,000 that the town incurred to keep our 26 miles of roadway and other areas safe throughout that event. So we're hoping to get a great deal of it. The process, I can tell you, is extremely cumbersome, but thankfully our crews and our outsourced vendors kept very good records and took photos, because they're actually asking for GPS coordinates and such, which is very new for that type of a reimbursement. We continue to communicate with IQ Fiber. As I have an update as recent as yesterday. We expect after that conversation to have this item on the September meeting, and this is regarding their interest to come into town to provide internet service. Legislative session has come to an end, and thankfully there were quite a bunch of bills that were of concern to the town of Ocean View and many others. The affordable housing bill was one that was a concern to Ocean View because of its lack of clarity, and Ocean View's expressed inability to accomplish 20% affordable housing goals that were for a town that's nearly built out. This will not impact Ocean View as best as we can tell from the reading of the bill that was passed until we do our 2023 comp plan update. But we've made sure that our correspondence and testifying at the hearing and comments that were made to answers are all recorded, so that the town will be prepared to address anything if anything comes up at a later date. I'm happy to share that we were awarded our bond bill request for increased construction match funding for the Burzins Nature Park, totaling $74,881. This is in addition to the $113,000 previously awarded, and these numbers that combined make up our 20% of the construction match for our Transportation Alternative Program grant that is helped us design, and will now help us construct a new park. Unfortunately, we were not as successful with our grant and aid application. First year that we applied for a grant and aid for Cops and Goblins, it was not awarded. I have not gotten anything in detail for reasoning other than it was a tough financial year for the state, and they really didn't add anything new to grant and aid. But we will continue to try for that, and efforts are already underway to make up the gap for the cost of offering the very popular Cops and Goblins to our community. Concerts are going on, the other programs, Cops and Goblins and of course Old Town are all well in the works. Next concert will be the 23rd of July, 6 to 8 p.m. With the Funsters. Chief mentioned about the SRO funding. We felt that a vote could have been made and should have been made last month, but we'll go back and make sure that we're there in case there's any conversation that we can help the board with. Of course, you know we have a very successful and very engaged SRO program at Lord Baltimore, and we're hoping to be able to continue that. Mayor and Council, you're aware that we were gearing up and working with Catherine Evans' family to hold a 105th birthday celebration on July 16th for this longtime resident. Unfortunately, Catherine passed away on July 5th, and just 11 days shy of her 105th birthday. Her grandson expressed great appreciation to the town for their willingness, our willingness, and excitement about helping to celebrate. But she will certainly be missed. And then I provided a listing, I won't go through that, of engagement and meetings and things, but I'd be happy to answer questions about anything here or anything else that council may have.
Council, any?
No.
No.
Okay,
Thank
next
you.
up, finally, is Public Works.
All right, thank you. A lot of this stuff is repetitive month to month, like the pulling the weeds, the grass cutting, the daily facility inspections, so I'll just highlight on a few other things that we do this month that we don't typically do. Jacob and Dave reinstalled the parking bumpers over at the Oakwood Avenue parking lot, new parking lot that Ken was talking about. And Trevor Collins over there about landscaping the new parking lot. We get some plants and irrigation over there. As Carol said, we had concerts at the park, so the team prepped and got ready for all the concerts and worked those 3 concerts that we had. After meeting with a representative from ArborCare, we decided to replace the little gem magnolia that was affected by the winter storm here at the entrance of the parking lot. We selected another magnolia, a different variety. It's called the teddy bear magnolia, if anybody wants to know that. All the windows and screens at 201, we had a professional service come in and power wash and clean all the windows inside and out. Jacob Balasis met with the VSC for their sprinkler the system's semi-annual inspection. Over the 4th of July weekend, it was extremely hot, as we all know. We lost power. I think it was 4th of July, or Friday, 4th of July. Yeah. So Public Works just went around and made sure all generators kicked in. We didn't lose power here, so that was good. Also, because of the extreme heat, we just monitored the building and made sure that all rooms were keeping up with the hot conditions. We'll probably have to keep an eye on this week coming up too. Dave assisted Adele with the jetting the storm drains along Willow Oak and Tulip Poplar in Bear Trap. Got a good picture of him and his waders. And then Jacob has been spraying mosquitoes throughout the town. We started a couple weeks ago, weather permitting, of course. So I feel like mosquitoes, I haven't really noticed them this year. So he's doing a good job.
Any questions from that, Patrick?
No.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Next up is me. I have the June activity report from the Millville Volunteer Fire Company. Probably the most important thing about the whole report is everything's increasing again. As the population in their fire district is increasing, the EMS calls, the fire calls, and total calls have all increased. So I mean, you can see the categories, look at them yourself, but they've been only increased now probably for about 6 months, and I really think they'll continue to increase with the population in their fire district increasing. So. Okay, I'm sure there are any questions on that at all.
No.
All right. Let me read something that hasn't been read for a while. Rules of order for meetings. Each person addressing the town council or any town commission shall identify him or herself by name and place of residence for the record and shall address all remarks to the town council, town commission, as a body and not to any member thereof. Each person shall limit their remarks to the matter under discussion, shall be permitted to speak only one time on any topic, and shall be limited to 3 minutes. A written statement in lieu of verbal comments is permissible. No one other than a member of the town council or commission is permitted to enter discussions without the approval of the mayor or the presiding officer. No members of the public are permitted to ask questions of any speaker while they are addressing the town council, commission, or any other council member or commissioner without permission from the presiding officer. All people attending in person or participating electronically in a town council, commission meeting shall conduct themselves in an orderly fashion. All shall follow the direction of the mayor, the presiding officer. No disruptive behavior is permitted. and electronic devices shall be signed. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is citizens' privilege for items of the published agenda. If anyone wishes to speak at the citizens' privilege at this one, he or she may not speak on the same topic at the second citizens' privilege, and it's only published agenda items. Published agenda items. So I'm going to open up citizens' privilege. Is there anyone wishing to speak on a topic listed on the agenda? Okay, if not, I'm going to close that. New business. Got an introduction of an ordinance relative to,
No intro. I think we just go to B, right?
go right to
Make
B.
a motion, right?
Yeah.
Discuss, go ahead.
Not yet, I need to make a present, just give you a little heads up on it. Okay, so, Mayor and Council, on the agenda, you have the resolution before you, and it's titled the Resolution to propose that the town of Ocean View adopt the Sussex County, Delaware property assessment data effective May 1, 2027 for the town of Ocean View FY 2028 property tax billing. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole resolution. It's available to all of you. It's online, and you know, we can send it to anybody that wants it. But Ocean View's last full town reassessment took place in FY 22 for the FY 23 property tax billing. Therefore, our next 5-year full town reassessment would typically take place in FY 27 for the FY 28 property tax billing. Utilization of the recently updated countywide reassessment data eliminates the need for Ocean View to conduct its own full town reassessment to fulfill our charter requirement. The resolution states that the council finds that the adoption of the Sussex County countywide reassessment updated on a 5-year cycle fulfills the town's charter requirement. Some important factors highlighted in the resolution include that the town staff, in an effort to ensure a seamless transition, engaged in the following. Contact was made to Sussex County to understand their process for data sharing. Engagement with our current assessor to discuss deadlines to provide notice of need for their services for the full town reassessment. We have to give them notice tomorrow if you approve this, so that that relationship can be halted. Engagement with our software firm regarding any conversion needed or cost to import data. Outreach to the towns already using county assessment data to see how they've been satisfied with it. Consult with the town solicitor regarding process requirements to adopt the county assessment data, and conducted a review of the data provided from Sussex County for irregularities. In addition, making the move will eliminate the need to hire and fund a town assessment firm. It eliminates the need for the town to conduct valuation appeals. Property valuation appeals will be heard through Sussex County Board of Assessment Review in accordance with county procedures. Town taxpayers will retain all rights to contest county assessments that are part of the town tax bills. And Sussex County will provide quarterly assessment updates. The timeline associated with positioning Ocean View to utilize Sussex County assessment for our May 1, 27 property tax billing is as follows. July 26th, we submit the resolution for council. That's what we're doing today. Later in July, we will provide our current appraisal firm a 30-day notice of no longer needing their services for full town reassessment. In January, you will have on your agenda that in association with this resolution, authorize the town manager to sign an agreement with Sussex County for the provision of property assessment data. In January 27, we'll publish a notice of the proposed adoption in 2 newspapers of general circulation within Sussex County, and in February of 27, final official notice given to the County Board of Assessment Review. No later than March 1st, we have to make that. So there's a lot of steps that still have to take place. You may be asking, why don't we sign an agreement now with Sussex County. They're not ready. They're redoing some things, and it's not ready to be presented. Making the move to utilizing Sussex County property assessments will allow Ocean View to manage its property assessment in a more efficient and cost-effective manner. By making this move, it will eliminate the cost of our third-party assessment vendor valued at $502,000 over the past 5 years, including the cost of the FY22 full town reassessment. There's no cost to utilize Sussex County property assessments. Additional positive impact would be the savings of approximately $28,952 for our current tax database maintenance, plus the cost of monthly assessor evaluations for properties sold, transferred, or modified, and additional savings of $175,000 in FY27 alone. So, with all of that noted, the approval, we recommend the approval. We think it's in the best interest. As you know, we've been hoping to get to this point for some time. We needed Sussex County to finish their reevaluation because that hadn't been done in many years. And adopting it prior to that, since we have kept up with our reassessments every 5 years, would have been problematic. So now that they have, there's no reason for us not to join all the other towns that have been with them for many years and be more efficient and save our community these funds. So I'd be happy to answer any other questions. I'm sure Dawn would as well. If we could have a motion.
Well, I do have a question. You
Yes.
said they weren't ready. What is they weren't ready?
With it, signing an agreement.
Okay,
Yeah,
just there's no change
No,
or anything?
no.
Okay.
They've previously not had agreements with the towns that they provided for. They
Right.
have so many wanting to come on with them now that they feel they should sign agreements so that everyone's very aware of what the,
I got you.
I guess the,
You're agreeing to what they're going to provide, and everybody's agreeing to the same thing. It's hard to believe they didn't have an agreement before, but you know, I feel more comfortable that we're going to have something to read and review and sign before we take the leap as well.
All right.
Council, any questions?
Yeah, just one more question. So was any other towns utilize this?
Many towns. There's a lot of the smaller towns than us in Sussex County have used them for years. The problem for Ocean View is because our charter requires us to do it every 5 years.
Right.
All of those other towns were subject to having, you know, it's the whole equitable issue that,
Right.
you know, if you don't reassess, then some people are paying more than they should, and some people are paying less than they should. So thankfully, Ocean View had that in its charter, and we stayed current. But we could not go to them until they were committed to staying current, and now they have, you know, there was a whole lawsuit, you know all that. They lost the lawsuit, they had to do the reassessment, and now they are required to do it every 5 years. So we will have a period where we're going to have to jump a little bit ahead to get on.
Catch up on their.
Because we have to jump on to their next, you know, the next
Cycle.
time frame.
It's a great
Okay.
idea, it's a savings, the whole thing's a great program. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, I need possible motion if so inclined to support to the adoption of the Sussex County, Delaware property assessments.
I'd like to make a motion that we support the resolution for the town of Ocean View to adopt the Sussex County, Delaware property assessment data effective May 1st, 2027 for the town of Ocean View. FY 2028 property tax billing and future billings and aligning with the future updates of Sussex County, thereby continuing our charter required full town reassessment every 5 years.
All. Okay, those in favor?
Oh, and who's second?
I second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay, passes 5-0.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next thing is discussion, consideration, and possible voting on the recommendation for approval of Virgin Park Trail, Nature and Trail. Mr. Simmons.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is going to be a little longer than my standard request to approve the contract. The background is going to be a little longer. This project actually dates back to 2021 when planning staff sought permission from Town Manager Houck to approach the property owners of this parcel of land, Raymond and Susan Burzins, about purchasing this property for conservation. Town manager gave us the okay, and myself and the town manager entered into discussions with the Burzers, and we eventually purchased this property utilizing funding from
ARPA and Sussex County excess transfer tax revenues that they divvied out to all of the towns in Sussex County.
and that was an amount of $500,000.
$500,000.
The design for this project kicked off in 2024, and that was also funded through a Transportation Alternatives Program grant from the Delaware Department of Transportation, and a little more than $560,000. Fast forwarded to where we are today, we're finally ready to break ground on this project. The construction of this project is completely funded through grants, through FY26 and FY27 bond bill, and through Delaware Department of Transportation's Transportation and Alternative Program. This project was worked on by many in our group, not just myself and the town manager, finance director, Parks.
Dawn, tell us how much the town has spent so far.
Town spent $5,000.
That was our deposit
Our
for the
deposit.
purchase. We're so excited because it's such a success story, and for what we've been able to accomplish grant-wise. I
That's why we want to talk
appreciate
about
the
it.
background.
That's why we want to talk about it, and it was a project that was worked on by many, as I said, town manager Houck, finance director Parks, planner Joe Oliver, town engineer Jim Lober, and our consultants at Wallace Montgomery and Associates. With that said, advertisement soliciting sealed bids for contract number OVPZ&D 2607 were placed in local newspapers and on the town's website. Bid proposals were accepted by the town manager at the municipal building located at 201 Central Avenue on Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. This work involves furnishing all labor, materials, transportation, tools, supplies, and equipment necessary to construct a raised boardwalk, asphalt walking trails, and a parking facility located on 4.06 plus or minus acres of land located at the intersection of Money Neck Road and Double Bridges Road within the municipal boundary of the town of Ocean View. 3 sealed bids were received and opened. Mumford and Miller Concrete Incorporated of Newark, Delaware was the apparent low bidder at $787,000. $787,480.05. A complete review and summary of the bids was performed by Nick Nussbaum, our construction manager with Wallace Montgomery and Associates LLP, and is attached for your review. As I noted, funding is available for these improvements through the Delaware Department of Transportation's Transportation Alternative Program in the amount of $741,984.04, and through the FY26 and FY27 bond bill in the amount of $187,994. It is therefore recommended that Mayor and Council authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with Mumford and Miller Concrete Incorporated for the total bid amount of $787,480.05.
Council, any questions of Mr. Sumner?
No.
No.
Okay, I need a recommendation for a motion to enter into a contract with Mumford and Miller Concrete for a total bid amount of $787,480.05.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. Motion to authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with Mumford and Miller Concrete Inc., for the total bid amount of $787,480.05.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in
Who's
favor?
the second?
Jay.
There-
It was
there's
a
three
jump
again.
ball, Jay.
Okay.
It's close.
I just wanted Donna to have it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I just want to mention that in addition to TAP grant, for the, amenities and other things for the park, we have gotten several, and we're waiting to hear from another outdoor recreation park and trail grant, which hopefully we will get, which will assist with some matching and things like that. So we're still trying to bring it in, as best we can. We're going to be taking care of it forever. So this assistance in developing it is really important.
It's just amazing how much this town generates in grants. It's just absolutely amazing. And kudos to all those involved in the processing of the grants. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is discussion, consideration, possible voting on a recommendation to direct increase in earned interest to the completion of the Verson's Nature Park project.
Just make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah, Verson's, yeah, sorry. Wait, I think, don't we have D, 8D?
8D.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, D. Yeah, D's first. That's the recommendation for proactive succession planning. Is anything out of order, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
AD in the book.
Oh, okay, so mine, so which should we do now? Bert, we did
Stick to the agenda.
D is police.
stick to the D is police. Okay, that's what I got. And mine says D.
I have AD.
D is the Frozen Nature.
That's
Oh,
what I have for D.
They don't match on the agenda, D.
okay, so we already did the Ken's, and now we're on me for, it says earned interest. Yes, that's the next one I got. Okay, I'm flipping them around.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. Okay, well, anyway. As you know, by copy of the approved ordinance for the tax rate stabilization fund that was created earlier this year, with seed funding totaling $1.4 million from the sale of our water utility, the amount that the ordinance that created the tax rate stabilization was the 1.4 million. The investment balances in our tax rate stabilization trust fund as of 4/30/26 totals 1.527 million. The ordinance, of course, is 1.43. The interest earned, the increased interest earned amounts to $96,631. Okay, so you have two options, or maybe you have other options, but these are the ones I'm presenting you. One, we can maintain the overage in the tax rate stabilization fund by vote of council and this memorandum acknowledging the additional interest earned. Or you can authorize, this is a very good segue from Ken, authorize the overage to be transferred to Verson's Nature Park project to assist with any final unidentified costs, grant matches, amenities, signage, and beautification plantings as the project reaches full development stage. This is my recommended option for the following reason. As you're aware, and Ken just shared, that we have gotten in excess of $1 million for its design and development, and $500,000 of grant fundings were used for the land acquisition. And we continue to submit, and again, Dawn told you, we've spent $5,000 so far. Currently, we expect to fund an additional estimated $235,000 from town-specific funding sources for final amenities. That was included in your in the FY27 budget. The overall town-funded amenities engineer estimate is $468,832, and that's prior to actual bids coming in, okay? That's an estimate. So, I'm not gonna go through all that, but, we also have a grant that's not awarded yet. I mentioned it earlier, Outdoor Recreation Parks, grant submission, $194,000 that we're waiting to hear on. I'm hopeful, I feel confident that they have already supported this project and they want to see it to the end, but until I get it, I will not know. So therefore, we have 234 from the town's funds and then 234 from grant funds, which to make up the 468. So it's my recommendation that mayor and council take advantage of the earned interest that we got from, as we were getting to the point of approving the tax rate stabilization that we earned on the 1.4. The tax rate stabilization fund cannot be used until next year. The monies are invested. And I think it's in our best interest to allow us to transfer these funds so that we have it available as we come to the finish line with this project. Okay, so it's my recommendation more specifically will be to, either option is acceptable. However, understanding the nature of the bold project, such as the town's development of Burzins Nature Park, our successful efforts to secure grant funds and necessary matching funds, it's therefore recommended that mayor and council authorize the town manager to direct the additional earned interest funds of $96,631.14 towards the final development of Burzins Nature Park. We'd be happy to answer any questions. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So 468,832, right? I got that. So then the possible, which has not been awarded yet, 194,416, that also goes?
That, this 96 could help us to fund that if we don't get it.
Okay.
But
But if
there's
you
also
get it-
the possibility that other things are gonna come up.
Right.
And working on projects like this, in the past, they're gonna come up.
Right. No, I'm good. I just want
Yeah.
to see where, yeah.
So that's why, when we saw that it was this significant, the interest, that we didn't anticipate it being this high, the most likely project that we're working on, and, you know, we're gonna go to construction by the end of the year, it would be good to have those funds available. We're gonna tell you about it when we need to use it. You know, anything changes, we're gonna be coming and telling you about it. Hopefully I won't have to tell you about many changes, but you also know that we also, for a lot of our projects, we have contingency funds and things. So I'm not trying to tell you we don't have anywhere else to go, but I think this is a good use of these increased interest that we've earned. Okay.
Any other questions of the town manager?
No.
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 Okay, I need a motion to authorize the town manager to direct the additional earned interest funds of $96,631.14 towards the final development of Burzins Nature Park. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
So,
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town manager to direct the additional earned interest funds of $96,631.14 towards the final development of the Burzins Nature Park.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, passes.
thank you so much.
Okay, moving on to item E, discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a recommendation for the proactive Ocean View Police Department's succession planning support for FY 2027, 2028 to 2030, officer recruitment and associated COP grant applications.
Yes,
Now,
yes, thank you. So, in association with the anticipated Ocean View Police Department retirements expected to take place over the next several years, and in the interest of maintaining well-trained, proactive, available staffing levels during any upcoming transition, succession planning is now deemed necessary. I want to note that our succession plan as described herein is based on our best available information at time of writing any modifications to the plan that become necessary in association with any updated or actual notice from their officers or other findings will be brought to the attention of council immediately. The time of overlap between departing and newly hired officers cannot be fully identified at this time, although we can confirm that training and initial onboarding of officers typically takes at least 1 year. As such, we will manage any overlap periods to the best of our ability and with the best interests of the town and its citizens. FY27, officer recruitment effort. It's been deemed appropriate to begin an officer recruitment effort during this fiscal year, FY27, to allow for recruitment and all of its associated requirements, hiring, participation in upcoming academy, completion of the academy, active duty training period. This effort would be for the recruitment of 1 police officer as a replacement for an officer expected to retire effective August or September of 2027. So that would be next summer. Our plan would be to begin the recruitment now to allow for the placement of the officer to be completed all the necessary steps that I just mentioned. Funds to assist with a successful recruitment were not included in the FY27 budget, although they've been identified to be available from our unassigned fund balance to cover the hiring of 1 officer in 2026, this year, our FY27 budget year. The current value, the value of this funding has a range of between $120,800 for a new officer attending an academy with family benefits to $132,800 for a certified officer with family benefits. Of course, we don't know. We don't know what what the situation will be, but we gave you the range. So that's the one thing that we're asking for permission to move forward on. And then the FY27 COPS grant funding application effort for the support of 2 officers to be hired in FY29. It's been deemed appropriate to apply in July this month, for funding support of 2 replacement succession planning police officers in association with the anticipated requirement of 2 to 3 additional officers in FY28, which would be FY29 budget year. I know it's confusing. This grant application is due in July, and notice of award will not be made until spring of 27, which is FY28. That's why we're here today. A COPS grant cannot supplant existing officer salaries or previously budgeted officer position. It's valued at $175,000 per officer, which is paid out over 3 years. So that's $58,333 a year for each, for the first 3 years that officer is employed. As such, the recruitment for 2 officers could not commence until spring of 27, or FY28, when award notice is expected. If awarded the grant funding, however, the balance of anticipated town costs for years 1 through 3, for year 1 of 3, will be proactively included in the FY28 operating budget that would be effective May 1, 2027, and subsequently align closely with the award notice. Failure to obtain grant funds would require additional recommendations or consideration by the town at that time, and we would bring that forth. The value of these 2 officer recruitments is approximately $120 each, less $58 each if our 3-year payout of COPS grant funds is awarded, or approximately $62,000 per officer per year for FY28, 29, and 2030, at which time FY2031 the town would have the full expense. And of course, during the same time period, the officers that are retiring, that would be occurring. That's what we expect. For now, we're seeking recruitment effort is limited to making application to the COPS grant in July this month, plus the understanding that the support of the application, the balance would be proactively included in next year's FY28 budget. So it's therefore recommended the mayor and council authorize the town manager to begin recruitment for one new Ocean View police officer at the value between $120,886 to $132,818, and it is also therefore recommended the mayor and council authorize the town manager via Chief Ken McLaughlin to make application to the State of Delaware COPS grant for 2 officers, understanding the notice of award will not be made until spring of '27, and the balance funds required per each officer would be included proactively in our FY28 budget and maintained for '29 and '30. If you're so inclined, I provided a motion. If you want to support our moving forward in this fashion, it's my recommendation that you do so.
Council, any questions?
Yes. Is there any trend going around with the nature of the business climate? Is there any problem with the state funding these? Ken, do you think, or Carol, do you think there's any pushback?
Not
that we
if
would
they
not get
award
this
it.
money?
If they award the grants,
You aware of any grant things?
As it stands now, the state of Delaware is still in good graces with the federal government. There shouldn't be any eligibility issues. There are some states that are not eligible right now because of this ongoing issue with ICE participation and whatnot. Right now, Delaware is, I think it's a little bit of a gray area,
Right.
but as far as I'm told, we're still eligible to receive the federal funding. It's my recommendation we do. We've done this. I think we applied for our first COPS grant back in 2001, and we were successful. We've done this a few times, and the end result is several hundred thousands of dollars in savings to the taxpayers in Ocean View. So I think we're obligated to at least try.
Mhm.
There's no guarantee
No.
that we're going to receive anything, but we certainly, I think, would be remiss not to apply for the funds.
But to your point, being proactive is right. Don't wait.
Yes.
Do it now. And you have great success getting grants, so I think it's the right move. Thank you.
Council, any other questions? Chief, you have any comments?
No, other than, we've got some officers that are gonna age out, and move on to other things, So we've got, over the next couple of years, we're gonna lose some of the senior officers.
Are you-
Russ
I
Carter
mean,
being one of them, and, we gotta prepare for it. It can take, with the recruiting and hiring process, it can take me a year to replace, an officer, 6 months in the academy, another, 12 weeks of field training.
and they're not as seasoned,
Yep.
it
so,
takes a while, as I think you know.
Yep, and in this environment that we're living in today, having young officers that are prone to make mistakes is,
Expensive?
can be very expensive. So we've been, I want to, part of this too is we want to hopefully be able to bring on some new people that can be tutored by our senior officers that are getting ready to leave, that have 20, 25 years of experience, and we get a little bit more out of them as being mentors and teachers for these new officers prior to them leaving.
I know Councilman Clancy and I have been involved in agencies that had the brain drain on a veteran officer, a large number of
It's
left.
never been harder to be a cop, and you've never had to be smarter or more agile, so I completely support this. And it takes a while to grow a bench.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, I'd like to have someone make a motion to support the town manager's recommendations outlined in her memo of June 22nd, 2026 for proactive Ocean View Police Department succession planning regarding immediate recruitment for one officer, application July 2026 for 2 COPS grant supported officer positions, and proactive funding in fiscal year 2020 budget as necessary.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, as outlined in memo dated June 22nd, 2026, for a proactive Ocean View Police Department succession planning regarding immediate recruitment for one officer, application in July of 2026, for 2 cops granted supported officer positions, and proactive funding in the FY 2028 budget as necessary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the second citizen's privilege. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to come up and speak about any topic? Okay, if there isn't, you good? Come up and identify your name and your address.
My name is Chase Fallon. I'm a resident of Ocean View. I live off of Cedar Neck Road up there.
Could we
Before I
have
start,
your exact mailing address?
yeah, I believe it's 38821 River Street, Ocean View, Delaware. I just moved,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
But before I begin, I really want to clarify something. So, the road past, I guess the bridge, Cedar Neck Road, is that part of the town of Ocean View?
No, when you go over the canal bridge, it's no longer Ocean View.
What?
Even though it has a that's a post office thing with the address.
Right. Who technically?
It
owns
would be
that then?
called unincorporated Sussex County, so it's not under a town,
Uh-huh.
so it's just Sussex County.
Mm-hmm.
The primary jurisdiction for police would be the Delaware State Police, Troop 4 is Georgetown.
Right.
The primary jurisdiction for maintenance of the roadway would be the Delaware Department of Transportation.
Right. So to take up any issues with the road, I would have to go
What
to.
exactly is?
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested in lowering the speed limit there to a 25. It's currently at a 35, and there's no sidewalk or places for pedestrians to cross. And I ride my bike to work every day.
We might have
and-
some good news.
Well, DelDOT does have a plan. It's in the final stages of design. Last I heard, it was construction was nearing either this fall or next spring for a 10-foot shared pathway on the west side of the roadway for bikes and pedestrians, and 5-foot sidewalks on the east side of the roadway. And they would run from the Assawoman Canal to Hickman Avenue.
Okay, yeah, that would be really incredible.
And then our plan,
We're planning on continuing sidewalks along West Avenue all the way to Route 26, and then also on Central Avenue to Route 26 here in the incorporated municipality of Ocean View.
Mm-hmm.
so from the other side of Assawoman to 26.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's.
it's not gonna
That's good
happen
news.
overnight, all of it, but,
And we're finishing sidewalks up, the last segment of sidewalks on Woodland Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have connectivity completely along Woodland Avenue, which is the next street down the other side of Central Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
from the Assawoman Canal to Route 26.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
so
good news. So.
Depending on where you work, there's a good chance that by next spring, you'll be able to,
He said Lord's, I think, right?
you're at Lord's?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So if you're working down here for Amy, then you'll be able to go from your home here in Cedar Neck all the way down to Lord's Landscaping and at least,
Via Woodland Avenue.
yeah, have a sidewalk, be on the
Yeah.
sidewalk or in a dedicated bike lane.
Yeah, I mean, I typically cut through Daisy, and then
Yeah.
I believe that's Woodland,
Yep.
just to avoid this road right here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's, I would not ride my bike out there.
yeah, it's a little treacherous.
we used to have a board on, it's in your office now, but Ken's been working on it, Town's been working on it for 8 years-ish to establish the path, the sidewalk path, so people can do all that you said safely.
Yeah,
These are the last, and they're the tougher ones to accomplish.
yeah, and I'm aware that the speed limit on this road right here used to be a 35 or a 30, and it was changed to a 25 at some point in the past 20 years, maybe.
Yeah, that was quite a while back. Yeah, 25 in the town limits of Ocean View, you go across the bridge.
Yeah.
And then it goes up.
Yeah, okay. Awesome.
Thank-
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
You should go home with some good news. Okay, with that being said, there's no executive session today. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's ended.
Thank you, everyone.